Hello and welcome to Wake Up and Smell the Profit S&P and Q's review for Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. It's now the 17th and it's episode 2 of the S&P 500 and Q's High Drama. And the rest of this week will make you put your knitting down, sit on the edge of your chair, clutching your handkerchief while you're biting your nails. I'll zoom into the current area now for this S&P 500 weekly chart. So we know that my D wave, up wave 3 projection based on closes was hit, as was DeMark's high-low version in the daily charts. And in the weekly chart, price has blown past my closes projection for D-wave, up wave 3. And now we're going after DeMark's high-low at that number. Also in the daily chart, we know that the relative retracement levels 1 and 2 up were qualified and confirmed, so that's why we've been looking at the weekly chart, and also the momentum up for 50% and 100% in the daily charts. So we're looking at the weekly here, about to do the same thing. And I'll run through it again for those that are unfamiliar or need it into your head about 100 times like me. So there was an up close on this week, followed by a down close the next week, followed by an up close above the levels in question for that week, the third bar, and then it would have needed to open this week higher than this close, 45.0542, and it beat that, and it ticked higher than all other bars in the sequence, and it did that. Now all it has to do is close above this close for the previous week on the 9th at end of day Friday the 21st, and all of these levels will be qualified and confirmed. And here's the 50% propulsion exhaustion up right here at that level, 4804.96. And here's the 100% propulsion exhaustion up at this level, 6118.34. So the next goal, getting past DeMark's D-wave up projection here, is to get the magnet level qualified and confirmed, and this is the all-time closing high here in the weekly chart, I believe, 4677.03. Get that qualified and confirmed. We'll go after the 50% qualified and confirmed propulsion exhaustion up, and then the 100% qualified and confirmed propulsion exhaustion up. If this happens, it's got to close above this close end of day Friday. It doesn't happen, and that's going to be a monumental disappointment again. Although the last one wasn't too bad, it hung around the area for a while and then headed up. Let's look at the Q's now. And here's the Q's weekly chart with the relative retracement and propulsion momentum up levels for 50% and 100%. It's already blasted through the 50% propulsion exhaustion up here, and it's closer to its all-time high here at the magnet level than the S&P 500. And 100% propulsion exhaustion up is at this level, 498.05. And the Q's daily chart with all the cell risk levels showing, the Q's is about to qualify and confirm this cell risk level for phantom, variable, and plain sequential cell risk levels. So as it stands, end of day today on the 10th, it's qualified these three levels here. There was an up close, followed by a down close, followed by an up close above the levels in question. So tomorrow morning, if the Q's can open higher than this close, tick higher than this high, and close above this close for the bar on the 17th, then these levels for the cell risks will become qualified and confirmed. Then it's a matter of waiting for this combo cluster cell countdown 12 to turn into a 13 before we even think about selling or shorting. And the S&P 500 weekly chart looking back to 2018 era, showing only the Bollinger Bands, which has a 39 simple moving average middle period, 2.5 standard deviations on the upper and lower bands, and based on true low. And that makes it really hard to penetrate the upper and lower bands. Not impossible, but I've made it as difficult as it can be. So you can see 2018 had a puncture up here a couple of times. The 2019 one bridge too far for Powell again. And then he took some hikes back or roll-offs back here in the beginning of 2020. That's what that was. Of course, the COVID crash, and then leading up to the COVID crash, there was some pretty serious euphoria going on there too. A lot of times 1, 2, 3 punctures and closes above it. Let's zoom in. So during that era, you can see there was a squeeze going on here too, and that's really hard to do too, the way these Bollinger Bands are set. So there was a close above the upper band there. 1, 2, 3, 4 closes and some minor punctures. 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 and 6. So that was really pushing the envelope there. You can see how hard it is, but not impossible. And then a couple of punctures to the downside during that cascading waterfall draft to the downside here during the 2022 crash era, and now during this era here. So there was 1, 2, 3. There's already 4 closes pretty close together here above that Bollinger Band. And they're all closes. There's really no punctures, so this is huge. And the only thing bigger than that is the mid-band of the Bollinger Bands. Look at that. That's a major milestone here, 4015.76. The last time it was above 4,000 was back in 2022. Last time it was above it was October 16th, 2022, and then the next day it went under and has been under ever since, right up to today, Monday. So with all the other indicators switched on, we can see the Channel 3 high is right there near the Bollinger Band. So it did not make it above. Yes, it did. It made it above Channel 3 high too for a close. And now the weekly Stark band is right up there by DeMark's high-low D wave up 3 projection right there. So this is huge. If the Qs and the S&P 500 can get those levels qualified and confirmed that we talked about a little earlier here, if anybody has protection going on, they'll be getting rid of it, and that will be a short covering rally on top of this. So yeah, something happens and it can't get those levels qualified and confirmed, it's just as monumental, maybe not to the downside, but as far as the psychology of the market, it could do some damage. But the weekly S&P 500 does have its floor here because it printed the combo and sequential sell setup 9 end count, and it was perfected, and that put a floor under the weekly chart with the sell TDST at 4103.98. It's pretty far away.